So I wasn't raised in a Christian home. My parents raised us on good Judeo-Christian values, but that wasn't really a part of our routine or our life. So the first time that I actually was invited to church, I was 17. I remember she invited me and we just thought, cool, this is gonna be hilarious, let's go. And I sort of hated it. It was just a really uncomfortable experience because I had never done anything like that. And I just remember thinking like, what are all these people doing? Like, what are they singing about? I remember the worship was the worst part of it. It's the looks on the people's faces while they're worshiping and just, what are they doing? It's just weird, man. It's all just really weird. And we kind of laughed it off and it was kind of a joke, but then the next week I really wanted to go back. So I did that for a long time. And then finally I just kind of got fed up with it. And then some of the songs, well, they started to kind of catch on. I'm like, okay, I kind of like this one. So I would kind of mouth along to some of the words, just hoping that I looked convincing to the people around me. Like, I was so afraid to not sing because I thought people would know, but then I didn't like to sing because it felt inauthentic to me, like I didn't believe what I was saying. And so I said, y'all, is there a person who can just explain this to me? Can you just? And so they said, yeah, we'll get you set up with somebody. And so I went, pastor is elderly gentleman, and I don't even remember his name now, but he looks at me and he says, so why are you here? And I said, okay, I just need you to explain like the whole Bible to me just real quick, and then just explain what Jesus means and what this situation is, that God is three people, because that's just doesn't make sense. So if you could just give me a quick synopsis, I'll just be on my way. And he just laughed, and then he asked if he could pray for me. And I thought, I don't know, that seems weird. I don't think that's a good idea. And so he gave me some book references, and it helped. I think when I looked over that, I was like, okay, so God seemed very real to me at that time. Like I knew that I believed in God, but I just could not comprehend this concept of Jesus. It just never made sense. And so I kept going to church, and off and on for about 4 years, where it was still kind of that thing. And always that moment at the end when the pastor says, if you have a decision you need to make in your heart, I would sit and wait, like, come on, let me feel it. I didn't know what I was waiting for, but I knew there was supposed to be something. They say the same thing, if you're feeling something in your heart, and I'm like, I'm feeling it, do something, say something, but I couldn't even move. And so my friends, by the end, were getting up to leave, and it's just like screaming in my head, like, you have to go tell somebody about this. And I just felt like I couldn't. And so we're getting up to leave, and I'm going towards the door thinking, no, you gotta say something. And sure enough, my friends are sidetracked, and then it's like I'm just turning around. I'm going back towards the stage. And so that was the first time, she sat down, she talked with me, and she asked if I would pray with her. And man, that just broke me, because that was the first time I was ever able to say out loud after almost 4 years of being in church. I told her, I don't know how to pray. I don't know what to do. And so she just said, you can just say what's in your heart, say how you're feeling, just let God know what's going on. And I mean, I could barely choke out any words, but she really helped me through it. And when you first accept Christ, it's like everything is in color now, and you can see God everywhere you look and everything that's going on. I mean, you can see him, you can feel him. And I did feel many things in my life change pretty drastically, but there were still certain things that didn't. Still, every Sunday as a new Christian, it was talking about stuff that I still didn't have a clue, because I didn't have all of the biblical knowledge. And so there were never any explanations for all of that stuff. And I had been to many churches in Fort Worth when we moved back, trying to find the right place to be. And you probably remember the very first day that I was here, and I just immediately came up to you after the service, and I was just, thank God. Thank God I finally made it. Thank God for you. Thank God for this place, because it's something different for people to be able to come into Hulen Street and experience somebody talking about the gospel in a way that's simple, and explaining the characters in the Bible and those, fancy biblical words that half the people in the room don't know what they mean. And so it's just a good reminder that that not everybody who comes to church knows Jesus, whether they've been coming to church their whole life or this is their first Sunday through the door. Church is full of imperfect people, and you don't have to be in any particular place. That's the most beautiful thing about Jesus, that he's going to meet you exactly where you are. And he just loves you too much to leave you there. We say that a lot around here. And I think that the people at Hulen Street are exactly the same way.